Good afternoon once again. Welcome to our second and fourth press conferences here at the Sioux Falls Regional at the 2024 NCAA Men's Ice Hockey Championships. Up on the dais are the representatives from the RIT Tigers, who are the fourth seed in this region. They are the regular season and postseason champions of Atlantic Hockey. This is their fourth NCAA tournament appearance, their first since 2016. They're led by Wayne Wilson, who's now in his 25th season at the helm of the Tigers. He's the two-time Atlantic Hockey Coach of the Year over the last two seasons and a former Spencer Penrose Award winner. Up on the podium as well, we have graduate forward Elijah Gonsalves and graduate forward Caleb Moretz, who are both captains on this team. We will start the press conference with an opening statement from Coach Wilson. Then we'll have questions for our players. You guys can be excused after that, and then we'll hear from Coach. Thank you.
Well, welcome, and we're obviously very, very excited to be here. This process for us really kind of began last year when we lost to Holy Cross, and that's kind of been a little bit of our underlying motivating factor throughout the year to try and get back to this position. We knew we had a good team coming back, but regardless of that, you know how difficult it is for any team to get through their league, and not only the regular season, then for Atlantic hockey, it's up to an automatic bid. So your regular season is just preparation for playoffs, and then you've got to win your playoffs to move on, which is a real difficult thing. And not many teams are able to win both. But with that, we've done it a lot of different ways this year, starting with great goaltending, a couple of defensemen that have had outstanding years, one breaking the Atlantic hockey record in goals and leading the nation in goals scored, and a great group of forwards. And starting with the two guys to my right, their leadership in coming back, and some injection of, some youth with some of our freshmen. We've been able to do well on our special teams and our leadership, and that's, I think, the reason why we're here. And the new season begins with the NCAA. So the regular season was great. The playoffs was even better to get us here, but now it's also we're on the big stage and facing. It doesn't matter who we were going to face. You're going to face an outstanding team, but I think BU's what they've been able to accomplish and their players have speak for themselves.
Thank you, Coach. We'll have our questions for our players. Please raise your hand. Ryan's got a microphone. List your name and your affiliation, and you can have questions for our two players.
This is for either one of you. Grant Sweeter with Kelland Sports here in Sioux Falls. Guys, you have 11 players on this team that are 23 years old. You guys have a lot of experience on this team. How do you think that's helped you kind of go on this, win streak here and get you to the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, obviously we're a bit of an older team. I might start from recruiting a little bit older, but it just kind of goes to show the leadership that we have on this team. With the older guys, we've had a lot of guys that have played a lot of junior and now have played a lot of college. So we've got a lot of guys that have played a lot of games and know what it takes to win. And so we've been building this from last year, moving into this year with a lot of the same core group of guys. So we know what it takes, and that's why we're here.
And Bernie Corbett, Giant Sports Associates. Guys, you're both grads. You're both fifth year. Coach just mentioned Holy Cross last year. How much of a motivational factor was to come and give it one more go this year?
It was huge. We've been setting out for this since last spring workouts. It's been a bitter taste in our mouth all year. We set out our goals very, very high at the start of the year. We do a lot of mental preparation, and this being here is one of them, right? We're not finished. We really want to win it all.
Jess Myers from the Rink Live. For either of you, just, how much are you kind of wide-eyed by what you're seeing here and having kind of that kind of fun, and how much do you try to live in the moment, obviously concentrating on winning a game, but, enjoying the ride as well?
I got it. So it's incredible, right? You dream of this your whole life growing up playing hockey. This is the big stage. It's really cool to see a lot of the other teams here, a lot of teams we haven't faced before. But at the same time, we have been preparing for this all year, starting last year. Like Gonzo said, we've done a lot of mental preparation. We've had our goals set since the beginning of this year. So this is nothing new to us. This isn't a surprise. We're taking it all in. We're living it in the moment. Like you said, it is really cool, but we are prepared and we are ready to go.
Caleb, have you been to Sioux Falls, South Dakota? Have you been to either one before? And if not, what's kind of your first thoughts of, getting to see the city and getting to see the Premier Center?
So I've not been here. I've driven through it a couple times. Being from Alaska, I've done the trip a few times, the drive. So I have driven through it a few. Yeah.
Not quite.
I've never been here, obviously, but actually, one of my really good friends who I grew up with is the equipment manager here for the team, and so I've seen a lot of his stories that he's posted for games that they've had. So I've seen it a little bit, but no, I've never been here before other than passing through.
Any other questions for our student athletes? Jessica.
You guys have seen BU by this point. I'm sure you've scouted them. How important is that first maybe 10 minutes going to be to kind of establish that we're here for a reason, I guess?
It's going to be extremely important. That's been a stress for our preparation all week throughout practice. We've done pretty well against Hockey East competitors throughout the season, and our starts is what's got us there. We played UNH at home. We split with them. Should have swept them, but our starts were huge that weekend.
Call for questions for our student athletes. Caleb and Elijah, you guys are excused. Best of luck tomorrow.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Now open for questions for head coach Wayne Wilson.
Wayne, it's Jess Myers from the Rink Live. I know that the other three teams here are all on losing streaks, and you've got some momentum. Just, how much of that carries over and kind of feeling good about yourself right now?
Well, you hope it does, but you also understand that it could end suddenly. We don't have much of a choice in our league if a one-game losing streak gets us out real quick. So, like I said, that's the difficult thing with our league is that regardless of what type of regular season, or for us it was 26, regular season games, it's insignificant. You've got to win your playoffs, and we've had a lot of different people win one or win the other, but it's hard to win both. And as you look around the leagues, you see a lot of the teams that won their regular season weren't able to win their playoffs. So for us, it's our playoffs, and that's the streak that's most important. And we were able to do that after a good regular season.
Wayne, Bernie Corbett, you look back to 2010 and the run you made to the Frozen Four. Do you see similarities with this team to that team at all?
Probably not. I guess there is a little bit, but the one thing as I talk to our guys is that, when you're coming from Atlantic hockey, and we're not, we are what we are, and we still think we're a really good team, and I know people can evaluate our league however they want. The 2010 team didn't have anyone before them to set a tone or set an example. So what the 2010 team did, or the 2015 when we were able to knock off the number one seed, was you give us some hope and some belief that yes, we can. And I think that's what that's what differentiates the two teams, is that we're able to look back on what some teams in the past have done in the tournament, say, hey, why not us, and really believe it, versus the 2010 going, buckle up, like what's going to happen here, and you don't know what's going to happen. So I think what teams in the past were able to accomplish, and other Atlantic hockey teams, I shouldn't just mention our teams in the past, but that's who our guys look to for maybe some inspiration and help us. What have we done in the past? And then, as I think Caleb mentioned, playing some Hockey East teams already, and how much better is BU than Maine? How much better is the next team going to be than Notre Dame from the Big Ten? So you're trying to gauge that, and you never can do it, but at least that gives us something that we can build off of.
And as a follow-up, we talked last week, and this is the first meeting ever between BU and RIT, but it's not the first time that you've seen BU in the NCAA tournament. If you care to elaborate on that, I wish you wouldn't, but
Yeah,
feel free.
I don't
It's been
mind.
40 years. I've been an analyst since
Well,
then.
just to prelude that, I got a good luck and you can do it from Jerry York and Scott Pollock, BC guys, and Buddy Powers, who I worked with and worked for at Bowling Green, a BU graduate, never sent me that. He's on radio silence right now. So, but going back to 1984, this is a time when 8 teams made the NCAA, and it was total goals. And we had lost the first game by 3. I don't remember the scores. I just know it was 3. And we won the second game by 3 and won overtime and won the overtime to advance us to Lake Placid. So, yeah, so, one of my only memories of playing BU is a good one, but it took 2+ to have that memory. So that's all good. But I like that, Bernie. Thanks.
Just to finish that story, Wayne was a player on the 1984 Bowling Green team that ended up winning a national championship.
Wayne, speaking of your 2010 team, watching what UMass did recently and now what Michigan State is doing, how much of a proud papa are you of Jared DeMichael and kind of his rising star in the coaching ranks?
Yeah, it's great, obviously following him and speaking with him on a somewhat of a regular basis. And just what he's been able to accomplish right back from when he started getting into it. Another Bowling Green guy, George Roll, helped him with Nazareth to get his foot in the door. And on the Met side, he helped our women's team that also won a national championship in Division III. And then off to St. Lawrence he went, and then to UMass to win a national championship. And really a great story and a great turnaround for Michigan State this year as he's assisting them as well in their resurgence and in their hopes to win another national championship for himself.
Did you see some of those qualities in him when he was a player? I mean, did you look at a guy and say that's going to be?
Yeah, where's Jeff? What would you say about Jared? We've got some people around that know Jared pretty well. Very obviously outgoing. And yeah, I do. I mean, he was actually more entertaining than any of us here at the press conferences. References to Snoop Dogg, any dog, underdog, whatever he was saying at the time. But no, just as a goalie, gave us obviously a lot of confidence. And our goalies have way different personalities right now, but their ability to play the position is very similar. Actually, Tommy's been outstanding for us this year.
Coach Scott Bigger from RIT Sports Network. You've only got one player with any NCAA playoff experience on your team, but this is the 4th trip for you and your staff. How do you impart some of that knowledge and experience to the other players so that they know what to expect?
Great question. I don't know how that, I think really just trying to reinforce them being themselves. Like, you don't need, you can't change up everything as a coach. Sometimes overcoaching hurts teams as well. But I think your players just have to come in and just really with a strong inner belief in themselves and the team. I don't think you can manufacture that. You try to, I guess, just what I said about reflecting back on past teams that had success or how we played other teams this year that will be very similar to BU. They may not be BU. The personnel's different, but there's not something out there that is drastic. We've got to stick with what we do and play to our identity and do what we do and do it as well as we possibly can and worry about that and see if that's good enough to take us where we want to go.
Coach Matt Campbell, RIT Sports Network. There's been a lot of talk in the media, including in the selection show, about the age difference between these two teams. What do you think that really, what part do you think that really plays in this contest this weekend?
Well, all of a sudden, I don't know how that became such a talking point, but maybe it was because of the selection show. But I think we have a program that's much different than a lot of other programs. And I say that, I'd like to say we do it the old-fashioned way, we do it the right way. But if you look at our roster 4 years ago, who came in as freshmen, or 5 years ago with some of them, you look at them, they're still here. So we're not dismissing guys after 2 years and, hey, we don't like the way you're playing, you're gone. And it's not because of grades or anything like that. Our guys stick with us. We asked their senior year, do you want to come back for your 5th year? I think you can talk about the age, but I think the fact that they want to come back and get their MBA and they love playing college hockey and they love playing it at RIT speaks about our culture. And with the transfer portal and everything else, we've used it 3 times. So we've plucked 3 guys. I kind of wish we never used the transfer portal at all. No offense to the 3 guys we have because they've been big contributors. But it's just, like the guys, Elijah came back. He got off to a great college career and then had to have both his labrums done 1 year and missed it and really affected the start of his next year. and wanted to get his MBA, wanted to come back. And Caleb there, he's scribing in a hospital. You know, he's been accepted to med school, but scribing or working in the emergency room is another way. We have a great co-op program at RIT. It's another great example of someone that's going to be able to further and get into the medical school he wants to, because he's got that experience along with his education. It's hard for hockey players to be in the emergency room and that while you're taking full-time classes. So this was an opportunity for him to get that experience and hopefully write his ticket for the future. Our 2010 team had 3 doctors. They're all doctors now off that team. So these are guys that are coming to school for all the right reasons, and not that anyone going anywhere else is for the wrong reasons. We have a transfer portal, whether you agree with it or not. You can use it however you want. My hope is that we provide a great experience at RIT for our players, and that I want them back and they want to come back. And so we're never getting rid of guys that are going to be junior seniors and replacing with young guys. We also don't have the problem that BU has, where guys may sign after 1 year or 2 years. So that, you know, we use that to our benefit, but that's not speaking negatively on BU. But why are we younger? Because we not only age out after 4 years, but we age out after 5. And coupled with that, when we didn't have scholarships, no one was jumping early when they had eligibility left in junior to come and pay when I'm going to try it 1 more year. So traditionally, we've always been last year junior players because they've tried everything in their power to get a scholarship, weren't able to get it, and RIT was a good option for them. We're able to get younger players, whether that's good for our program or not, but we are able to get them now because we can offer a scholarship, and now we know whether they want to come based on money or based on, I've got other options, I'd rather go to a different school. So that is really, in a nutshell, why we're an older team. But no apologies to it. I couldn't be prouder of the guys that are old men back there and getting their MBA and getting accepted into a med school and being able to experience college hockey at the highest level. I think it's awesome. That's my soapbox speech, but
Any additional questions for Coach Wilson? Yeah, thank you very much.
yeah,
Coach
thank you so much.
Tomorrow. Coach Wilson's RIT Tigers will take on the Boston University Terriers tomorrow at 4 o'clock Central Time in the first half of the Sioux Falls Regional. Our next press conference will feature the Minnesota Golden Gophers, which will begin at 3:15.